Now, a couple of months ago on this channel, I made a video about how Xabi Alonso turned into one of the best managers in Europe and how we turned Bayer Leverkusen back into being a really good team and efficient club. I made the video praising Xabi and Leverkusen, but I also made a comment about why, despite all of Alonso and Leverkusen's efforts and good play, about why I think Bayern Munich will still come out as the winners of the Bundesliga for the 12th year in a row. But after watching Bundesliga games a little closer, watching both Leverkusen and Bayern a little closer, I realized I was wrong, and I actually think Bayer Leverkusen will win the Bundesliga. So in today's video, I will be explaining why I think Leverkusen will win the title and what made me realize I was wrong. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Back of the Net here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, one of the reasons I thought Bayer Leverkusen would not be able to break Bayern Munich's 11-year streak is simply because Bayern Munich added one of the best goal scorers in this generation in Harry Kane, who we all expected to just act as basically a new Lewandowski and drag Bayern to yet another title and end Kane's trophy drought at the same time. And to be fair, the ex-Tottenham striker Kane has been elite this season for Bayern Munich. He has played 17 games in the Bundesliga this season with, get this, 22 goals and 5 assists. He has more than done his part in this Bayern team, and I know that if Bayern don't win the Bundesliga or any title this season, all the memes will be made about how Kane essentially cursed Bayern. But to be fair, if we are being honest, Kane has more than done his part so far this season for the Bavarian club. And another reason I doubted Leverkusen is simply because of the inexperience in their team. A lot like the Arsenal team last season that came out of nowhere and almost beat the Goliath that is Man City, I saw a lot of similarities in this Leverkusen team. A manager that was managing his first professional team, an all-round really young and inexperienced team bar some older players like one that has been on both teams in Granit Xhaka. So I just thought the inexperience of this team and the inevitability of Bayern would cause Leverkusen to fumble and Bayern to pounce and win the league again, which happened last year when Dortmund fumbled on the last day and Bayern, as usual, capitalized to win the league by the skin of their teeth. And I mean, to be fair, this still might happen. Bayern still might pounce if Leverkusen ever do slip up. But the more I watch Leverkusen, then the more I am impressed with Xabi Alonso and his men. Now, if you haven't followed Leverkusen too closely this season, you might be very surprised to hear this, but Leverkusen are undefeated this whole season. Yep, they haven't lost one game this whole season. That in itself is a huge feat this far into the season. That proves several things about this team. It proves that they have an extremely strong and tough mentality. They can dig themselves out of holes that simply most teams can't, and this proves that they have the ability that most fans overlook, yet is one of the most important things for a team to win the title, and that ability is consistency. Bayer Leverkusen have an extreme level of consistency. If you watch one of the games, you will notice quite quickly that the sense of belief they have, the poise and the calmness that they have, you would never expect from such a young team. Just overall how Xabi Alonso has drilled this team so well tactically that they know everyone's role and end up playing some amazing football. And yes, Leverkusen haven't been perfect every single game. Far from it. I mean, if you look at their recent 1-0 win over Augsburg, where they got a 94th minute winner to secure 3 points. Yes, they played really well and outright dominated the game, but they were horrible in the finishing department. They took 24 shots throughout the game and only scored one singular goal. But like a lot of champions in the past, Bayer Leverkusen still found a way to win the game. Their most recent game at the time of this video, a 3-2 win over a good team in RB Leipzig. Leverkusen were not nearly as dominant in this game, especially in the beginning of it. Leipzig saw themselves go 1-0 up at halftime, and despite Leverkusen seeming to struggle again in the final third, guess what? Like a lot of champions and like they have done basically all season long, they still found a way to win. This time with a 91st minute winner away from home in a tough place to play, and they still walk away as 3-2 victors again over a really solid RB Leipzig team. So this team has proven throughout the whole season that they have the grit and the mindset to win a title, more specifically to win the Bundesliga and break Bayern Munich's 11-year title streak. Yes, for 11 years, Bayern Munich have won the Bundesliga year after year after year, and it definitely is going to take a special team to break that streak. And like I said earlier, they could still very well slip up, and Bayern, as always, could pounce. And that would make me wrong again in the title race in Germany. But every time I watch Leverkusen, I can't help but be more and more impressed by Xabi Alonso's tactics, by the way he manages the players, manages the team, and the way that his men show up game in and game out with a sense of belief and spirit that you don't often find in teams other than Bayern Munich in Germany. So maybe I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to admit that I was wrong. I was wrong in that previous video to say that Bayern Munich are going to win the title as they always do, because the more I watch this team, the more I watch Bayern Munich, the more I am convinced that Leverkusen has what it takes to shock Germany, to shock the footballing world, and break the streak that Bayern are on. I genuinely believe that this season will be the end of Bayern Munich's streak, and I believe that Bayer Leverkusen will win the Bundesliga and Xabi Alonso will be crowned as one of the best managers in Europe, if he isn't already. Again, you might not think Xabi Alonso is all that as a manager, but if you go watch Bayer Leverkusen play, if you see how well they dominate games, how well they beat better opponents on paper, you'll be very impressed with what Xabi Alonso can do with this team and how this team can perform. I mean, they have so many good players. Granit Xhaka has been so good since last season, to be fair, with Arsenal, but this season he has somehow found a new level and has been even better with Leverkusen than he was last season with Arsenal. Grimaldo is probably one of the best fullbacks in the world at the moment. Florian Wirtz is looking like he can fulfill his wonderkid status. Frimpong is looking like an elite fullback. This team is so good right now. They're playing rock and roll football. If you go watch their football, it is a beautiful sight to see. Tiki-taka, one-touch play, it is beautiful to watch. And they just keep delivering game after game. The fact that they are still undefeated this whole season to me is absolutely absurd. And Xabi Alonso might have just accomplished something so spectacular that it might take a couple years for us to sit back and acknowledge what Xabi Alonso has done with this club. So yes, that's the video. I am wrong about what I said in the previous video about Leverkusen. I genuinely believe that this team has what it takes to go out and win the Bundesliga and win it quite comfortably. But time will tell. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about that again, and Bayern Munich is just going to get their 12th in a row. I hope not, for the greater good of German football, but also for how good this team has been. They definitely deserve it. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Let me know in the comments below, what are your takes on Bayer Leverkusen's situation right now? Do you think they have what it takes to win the Bundesliga? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.